ready.
Hey y'all, welcome
Hey.
to Masisi Radio.
Hello.
My name is Mr. Bitch.
And my name is Pressure Point.
Period.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be talking about things.
Yeah, what
You, of course, because the people want to know about you. We
Do
want to.
they?
They do.
Can they handle the truth?
I don't know.
Okay,
You're
let's
private.
see.
You're like
Yeah.
Beyonce. Like you don't really let the girls know too much.
I don't, because, you gotta.
No, it's mysterious.
And also, it's sacred.
Period.
Yeah, we should be sacred about our most intimate selves. I share them with my friends.
Period.
I share them with lovely folks that show the same emotional vulnerability.
Yes.
But yeah, this is really, I think, a beautiful
Way for the
line.
world to let the world in.
Is why not on the first episode of
Exactly.
Mr. Bitch Takes the World?
I get with you. So yeah, we're gonna talk about you. We're talking about Masisi. We'll talk
Yeah.
about the scene.
Yeah.
Just for the folks that you
No
know.
more model questions. No more model questions.
No more model questions. Let's give a little intro to the folks that are meeting you for the first time. You know, you're a legend here in Miami, literally. Bestie, an incredible person.
You heard the police? Bitch.
Best DJ in Miami, 100%. They say pressure point. They say, oh, you know who I'm talking about.
I'm dead.
They do. The girls
The
girls know you here.
That's crazy. To
They really
me.
do.
That really is crazy because, I was known for a completely different other name when I first came out to Miami. I used to go by my other Instagram handle, Jimmy Garcon, when I first came to Miami.
I'm gonna call you Jimmy.
People call me Jimmy.
Jimmy.
There's some people that know me as Jimmy, and they still call me Jimmy. I'm like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Yes.
See, it's like fun fact.
It's old lore. It's the Love Below lore. But yeah, no. So my name is Akaya Dorsonville. I'm from Lake Worth, Florida,
Period.
and I'm a Libra.
Period.
I'm a lover of the arts, a cultural worker, sometimes organizer. I'm trying to get more comfortable with the word organizing. I think it just is carried so it's a legacy of weight that it should be honorable to hold that label. But yeah, I am a Miamian now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lover based in Miami. I love music. I come from a musical family that are in their own right almost like guerrilla intellectuals, guerrilla artisans, and yeah, that has really informed my viewpoint and my execution within sharing the world. Yeah, my little corner of art and perspective.
Period. Also, founder, creative director of Masisi and Masisi Radio as well.
Yes.
An iconic, also iconic collective that when they say Masisi, we know who the fuck we're talking about.
You know. It was so I'm so proud. It's my proudest baby, to be honest. It's my
You
oldest.
birthed her.
It's my oldest daughter. It's my oldest daughter.
She's going to college.
She's her badass. She be wearing her little coochie cutters, just in the streets.
Yeah, I know she'd be talking back to her father.
She do, and I be getting her a check. But
You're
it's
a great
nice to have gay
parent.
dads. You get a friend.
Okay. Thank you for the intro. We're gonna
Yeah.
learn more
Yes.
about you.
Yes.
Just for the folks who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Mr. Bitch, also known as Sam Masalam. I think of myself as a creative. I've been a musician my whole life, whether it be playing cello, audio engineering. Now it's DJing. I am relatively new to Miami. I'm originally from New York. I had no idea that Miami was going to sort of propel me into my DJ career and really being a serious event organizer. I run a party called Call to Action. We raise funds for trans people. We have one coming up Friday, so come through.
B2B.
B2B with my girl. My favorite B2B partner.
To be honest, love
No,
you.
really. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just here, also a Libra. What can I
Can you
say?
tell?
And yeah, I love to also interview people and get to know people more deeply.
Yeah.
We always have deep conversations.
I love that we're holding hands.
The girls can't see. We're holding hands. Okay. All right. So let's get started. My first question for you, of course, is a deep question.
Yes.
So, who is Pressure Point? Who is Akaya Dorsonville?
Yeah. So I feel like Pressure Point is the most extreme version of what Akaya would like the world to see him as. It's the like they them expressive, ultra creative, diva, just like yeah, it's a superstar. It's a superstar that really does show up and delivers version of myself. And then Akaya is the more vulnerable, more shy. I think a lot of people don't associate shyness with me, but I do see myself as a shy person. Deeply introspective, pseudo intellectual. I know a lot of things, and I don't know a lot of things. I'm always at least curious to learn more. Yeah, I feel like Akaya is someone that I'm so in love with, who am proud of. I'm talking in third person now, but
You should, because I feel it's a. Do you feel it's a performance, like for Pressure Point? Like, do you
yeah,
feel like you step into something when you're
Yeah.
about to go on?
I think if you want to do anything well, you have to. Like, it should be especially on the stage, like, you are perceived by so many people. And just because people have seen you, that don't mean that they actually know you. And that in our world can easily get misconstrued. So, yeah, the random Joe does know Pressure Point, but you don't know where I live. You do not know my family. You do not know who I kick it with, who I'm sleeping with. That's Akaya's information, and that is not up for the world to discuss.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Yeah, I'm so grateful to know both.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like, when we're talking about Pressure Point, like
Yeah.
creatively, where are you pulling from? And how do you like continuously be creative?
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about creativity recently, like in our own personal friendship.
Yeah.
I've always been curious, where you're pulling from.
So, Pressure Point is constantly pulling from Akaya. So, in general, like, I really do use my own life experience and my own trauma or my own like access of joy and what I would need to feel safe in terms of environments, whether it's like actually like creating spaces for joy or actually playing the music. Like, I'm constantly playing for the younger version of myself that was just the music lover that was downloading all of my family's CDs and always on the internet on sites that I probably shouldn't have been on, downloading music and like killing my mother's wallet just to buy ringtones on my phone.
I did the same thing.
Yo, my first ringtone was Temperature by Sean Paul, and it was polyphonic too, because it was a prepaid cell phone. So
Like,
yeah.
So if I listen to your voicemail, like, what would it be? Like,
Oh my God. I would probably actually have my sister, because my sister was really into, my sister's an amazing singer. So
also Libra.
also Libra, she was the first talent in the family. And yeah, she would sing on her voicemail. So I would probably have my sister sing on my voicemail.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Since we're kind of like talking about past stuff, talk to me about West Palm and kind of the memories. I feel like you pull from that with your artistry.
Yeah.
You could correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no.
But tell me about some memories that come to mind when you're thinking about childhood and stuff like that, and how you use that to be a part of your creativity now.
Yeah, so I grew up in West Palm. We have our own culture, our own everything going up there. So we had our own radio stations that we were deeply connected to, and independent radio stations that we were connected to. So yeah, it was a lot of Florida juke music and like Florida sounds. Like I have members of my family who were also performers. They were rappers in their own right. My aunt's husband was a popular rapper in my hometown. So in general, just I think West Palm really is a breeding ground for artistic excellence, especially with our adjacency to we're still in Palm Beach, so the adjacency to what fine art is considered in on a professional scale. I think a lot of people, due to that systematic structure, had to find themselves in the margins, and they created things out of nothing, or they created lanes where there was not one to exist. So that's what kind of reminds me of West Palm. I think of like the hot summers. I'm specifically from Lake Worth, so we were pretty active growing up. Like I think part of being Floridian is like you are always outside. You are always doing some level of activity. So I played every sport imaginable. I think of because where I'm from, Lake Worth, they have their own electrical grid. So we would have yes, the electricity like building like plant is right next to my high school.
Right, you showed me when we were going to Janet. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, so we would have rolling blackouts. And then of course we have hurricanes. So when hurricanes would come, the streets are flooded, but then also these people don't have lights for extended amount of time. They're not on the same grid as FPNL. So yeah, when I spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house, and that, I would say that in itself was a beautiful, beautiful institution of sorts. My grandmother had three beautiful little girls who are my aunts and my mother, five of them, and they all have their own individual relationship to music. And of course, being from a young family, we're kind of being raised up with them. And my mom had me at 18. So I literally grew up with her, and she's the oldest of her siblings. So I grew up with them. So my aunts are kind of like my sisters in a way too. And they just all had their own individual, style and like taste that they were curating in the home. Like my aunt was a hairdresser and a model. My other aunt was a dancer. The other aunt was a photographer. My other aunt plays classical music and classic jazz. She's a clarinet. Yeah, she's a flautist, clarinet. She teaches piano. She went to FIU, so that was like my early like at least trips. I would stay with her, and this is like I'm in elementary school. She was going to FIU for her university, and I would stay with her in her dorms every so often in the weekend. So yeah, I come from a beautifully rich, culturally rich family that kind of showed me that I can kind of have a lane in anything. I'm going to be good. If I care to be disciplined enough, I can be good at a lot of different disciplines.
So you'd say like all of them sort of influenced you
Yeah.
to kind of pursue music,
Yeah.
essentially?
No, completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Even now, like, I'm exploring, like, what does my personal music, like, from my voice would look like. And that's a direct, influence. My family's an R&B family. I've, like, privileged enough to, like, ingest a lot of Black American media at that. So I've gotten to see beautiful blueprints of how blackness and at least the Black arts can show up. So yeah, they were a direct influence.
I mean, and look, now we got rhythm
Yeah.
and blues.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about rhythm and blues?
Yeah, so rhythm and blues is it's not your typical R&B party. It's like it's in its saying rhythm and blues. And for me, I feel like Miami, especially like when I'm thinking about the emotions that at least that me and my people move through existing here, it's a lot of rhythm and a lot of blues. You have to know the blues in order to sing about them. And Miami has a beautiful history of soul music. And part of that is because it's hard as fuck to live here. So for me, rhythm and blues is emotionally, I want to be a space for the folks that have a little song in their heart to get off. Like I have a house band called Rice and Peas that I'm doing with some amazing talents within our city. Another is part activist in this way because Me and my friends are constantly always talking about we can never find a really good jazz night, and not to shit on any of the other jazz collectives and musicians because they're all talented, but sonically they don't speak to me or my peoples. Yeah, so instead of complaining about it, we had the opportunity, thankfully at the corner, to put some things into motion. Even then, like there's like almost like this lost art of live musicianship in Miami, and not Miami. That's not the Miami I know, especially when you're talking about a haven for the global South and in the Caribbean. All these people come from, yeah, souls of drums, and I was missing that, and I saw a couple of community members complaining about that. I was like, you know what, I have this in my memory bank. So yeah, it's a night to really listen and indulge in all things that are rhythm and blues, and that's including poetry, that's including jazz, that's including R&B music, but in all of its subgenres as well, not just early 2000s. Like I'm a lover of soul music specifically, and like I said, like Miami has a rich history of soul music. It was considered the Motown of the South, and yeah, I want this party to be in the lineage of that and honoring that music.
It was very wholesome. And like I told you before, one of my favorite nights I've had in Miami in a long time, just because it plays on nostalgia, you know?
Yeah.
There's not very often that we get to be in a room and we're all collectively singing together. Like
Singing.
like really in it.
That was beautiful. Like that's when we start getting like the queers in them black folks. They go turn anything into church. So
It really was though.
it gave choir at a point, which I love that because that's like the highest vibration is to sing. Like you can dance, and that's also another like frequency, but the highest vibration in all spiritual practices and just in the air. I want to be anywhere where the folks are singing because that means life is happening.
So talking about the scene, because we kind of talked about it a little bit, you have been in the scene in a long time,
Mhm.
10
10
years,
years,
10
yeah.
years. So you've seen it evolve many, many times, been in it through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like it's heading? And when I'm talking about the scene, I'm talking about the underground scene, the black scene, the queer scene.
Yeah.
It's very small,
Yeah.
but like, what are your thoughts now and just like reflecting also back to the past, thinking about the pandemic, what y'all had to do? We'll talk
Yeah.
about Masisi in the pandemic because I'm
Yeah.
curious about that. But
Because we're
how do you
technically,
how do you feel about it right now?
yeah, for me, like I feel all kinds of ways. Like it feels
Positive and negative.
yeah, because at times it feels like I'm walking through a cemetery. Like the city has bodies, so yeah, it feels like a cultural wasteland at times. It feels like we're on the burgeoning of something revolutionary at the same time. We're in a fragile state that like everyone's input kind of matters because the city is constantly shifting and changing. And yeah, if your voice is not a part of the pot, you kind of do get your at least the community you serve will be forgotten. So that's what it feels like. I'm watching a lot of communities be forgotten in the cultural makeup of Miami and what actually makes Miami special. I feel like Miami is in I guess in a metaphoric sense, getting a facelift. We're in the process of Miami having a facelift, and facelifts are also fine. Like I'm like very here for gender affirming care. So
A little nip and tuck is fine, and it's very
Yeah.
very much on the quota of Miami.
and especially if you consent to it, like there's a certain beauty around accepting the old, but also it's okay to beautify and make alterations that are necessary too for your happiness. But it has to be all, it can't be so surface. You have to be considering like the spirit in the process. Is this actually good for me?
Yeah.
Am I sacrificing something old, or am I not appreciating what legacy is? And I think a lot about the cultural scene, like being a place where folks aren't respecting legacy, like, and that shows up in the work. It shows up in the work. I feel like we're so focused on trying to be in the future at times that we don't respect the past, and our present is what's suffering because we're losing recipes. So yeah, for me, like, if we're Miami's supposed to be a multicultural haven, especially for folks that are undocumented, then it needs to show up. Their pleasure should be, yeah, represented within this. So
I
yeah,
love that. I love that. I also think we've talked a lot about like the potential of the queer scene here.
Yeah.
I believe in it a lot. I know you do.
yeah,
Like, I think about sometimes it can be very disheartening. We see people move away.
yeah,
They always come back.
yes,
I've never experienced that in any city.
yeah,
I think a lot of people who've grown up here run to New York to get that
validation,
queer validation, and it's pretty. No shade to my city, but it's pretty lonely and sad sometimes. So, I think that touches on community a lot. That's something I've experienced a lot here. You know, I'm from a city where you have all these different sectors of queerness.
yeah.
That it's kind of overwhelming sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It feels policing.
That also, I have felt a lot of community. Oh, it's raining. I was like, what is coming
What is
down?
happening?
I don't know, like, what do you, like, we throw around this term so much.
Yeah.
We're in community, and I'm just like, girl,
Girl,
are we?
you do not know where I live, and I don't want you to know.
So, like, I don't know, but also, like, there's something to be said about the girls that don't know where I live. I still feel somewhat in community, but it's not the same.
It's not intimate. There's no intimacy there. And also, we're getting over the hill. So
Don't tell the internet how old I am.
I did it.
Under 30.
I'm a hard 30.
I'm a hard 33.
And you know, we're over 30
yeah.
under 50 list.
Yeah.
So in general, I think just like we are, and for me, it's a refinement. Like I'm getting better with time. You're getting better with time. I'm knowing myself. It's giving
Like fine wine.
beyond fine wine. Like, bitch, like this is humanity. Like I am coming into the conversation in any space with a wealth of experience. Like you're not going to discount that I've also lived. So for me, like I feel like the scene and how it parallels, like of course, Miami is still technically a young city, and it's still learning so much about queerness. And even then, like we gotta like call a spade, like queerness, and a lot of what we're learning currently is not coming from like the streets. It's coming from academia. Not everybody has access to a university. Like how many Ivy Leagues are in the East Coast? How many schools are in New York in general, in the proximity that people have? And they have a Brooklyn that exists. There is Marsha P's legacy there. Miami's are very unsung, and like we're like the cowboys of sorts. Like it's people romanticize.
It's no bullshit.
It's no bullshit. People,
That's what I love about it, actually.
people romanticize it because it is beautiful. Like it is like the Wild Wild West, but of the South, like the Great Migration South. And that's a respected and beautiful history that we need to be leaning in. I think so much of the scenes in Miami's issue is it's trying to be everything that it's not. It's like, no, like literally lean the fuck into our history. Be inquisitive. I went to the library recently and it's fucking amazing. And yeah, we're just not taking heed of the resources. Yeah, there may be limited, but there's still plenty enough. You have to like want to do research.
Not only that, when I'm thinking about this particular queer scene versus others, maybe San Francisco or New York, there is a survival piece that we need to recognize here. Huge one.
And I think it's the also because we're coming off of like we have our own relationship with Anita Hill. Like the San Francisco to Miami pipeline, especially for queer history, is a direct link. Like Harvey Milk like like charged up to actually become who he was as a politician because of what was going on in Miami. So the connections are there. I think the power isn't. We haven't had the same amount of power in that we have in a place like New York or San Francisco. These places are quote unquote liberal states. We've always been a red, or Miami has been liberal, but we'll see after this election how liberal it actually is. So, yeah, I think we're way more complex than that. And also, just like with everything else, like this is a city that is a sanctuary for immigrants. There's a lot of stuff that people aren't allowed to be as open in the world as as San Francisco and New York. Yeah, there's a population of immigrants that exists in both of those spaces, but it's not Miami. It's not Miami. We're at an extension from the Caribbean, opposed to like a separate destination. So it's just like I feel like it's like that quote, I think, of if you tell a child that they're not smart in a subject that they have no skills in, then you're going to always have a faulty marker of what greatness is. We can't compare to New York because we'll never be that, bitch. We're not a 13 colony.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, do you think of Miami as like the South, or
yes. If
'Cause
you
I feel
have
like there's a
black
difference.
people, no, but if you have black
Yeah.
American in mind, in black American history in mind, Miami's definitely the South. When you're talking about only Cubans or only folks of the Caribbean, then no, it's not. It's the
Yeah.
Caribbean. It really is a perspective. And it's kind of funny because I'm like, New York doesn't have that issue because they have the same geographic demo in terms of culture, but we're never up for discussion around if New York is still an East Coast like environment. Miami is the same way. It's still Florida. Like you still got conservatives and you still have Southern people because you have to exist in the land. We're an agricultural state at the end of the day. There's cities here, but we're going against our natural like environment. So yeah, Florida is the South. We're just the global South.
Yeah, I think I meant it in a way, and it's definitely the South. Let me not take that back, but more of there's definitely a different feel of like if I'm going to Atlanta,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, versus, and I think that you hit the nail on the head, which is there's a huge population of immigrants here
Yes.
coming from Venezuela, Colombia,
Haiti,
Cuba, the
everywhere.
Bahamas,
Everywhere.
yeah. So, and I think that inherently changes the feel of the city.
And also, I think you have to. There's a difference between Southern and country too. I feel like when I think about Atlanta, yeah, Atlanta's country as hell. Like they live in the woods. We don't live in the woods. We live by the beach. So we're Southern for sure. And there's legacy and history within that. Like that also is the erasure of where white people. And white people have been existing on the same land as us too. So that is a little bit to at least give respect to their own legacy. There's Southern people that had to, like I said, we're the cowboys just of the South. There's horses in Davie. You don't have to go far. You just have to
No,
leave.
I know. Babe, I took the right line and I got scared.
Child, and that was only an hour north.
I was like, oh, we're not in Kansas anymore, babe.
No.
We're not in Miami anymore. I do think I believe in Miami.
Yeah.
I really do. I believe in the potential of it. I know it's had a lot of shifts. The one thing I'm thinking about is the shift of the pandemic specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, where, a lot of folks, I know. I'm like, Wansi, do you want to jump in here and
The
say something?
Great Migration.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So I want to talk here also from the perspective of Masisi as being a collective where it's like, y'all started 2019, right?
Literally.
So it's like, boom, the best year of ever, 2019.
Barely the year.
barely the year. You have this great collective. It's very much needed, and boom, the pandemic happens.
And like we got to our third one, like, and the pandemic happened.
What did you
our-
do?
we had to shift gears. Like, thankfully, like I wasn't DJing then, so even then, like I had other disciplines too. So that's the other greatest piece. Bitch, be talented.
You heard it.
Be talented.
Multifaceted,
Yeah.
multi-disciplinary.
Trust. I'm an onion for sure, and you are too. But I do a lot more than just DJing. I do a lot more than just sing. I do a lot more than
I
like
think
sexy.
I think of you as a creative.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, it's like this is one outlet right
Yeah.
now, but I see you doing many outlets throughout your life.
You bitch, we be in the kitchen.
I know.
And
Girl,
it's
you
Top
wish you could
Chef.
come. Babe, you wish you could come to this fucking meal because we be
We be
cooking for
off.
10 people.
I know. It's Top Chef.
Top chef.
Tops.
Tops.
Yeah. Emphasis on the tops.
Right.
First tops. Well, top verse chef.
Verse bottom top
Verse-
chef. Side chef.
But yeah, so in general, like we were pandemic babies. I'll give us that label. We were pandemic babies. We got to our third one, and we had to cancel it. And then also, the pandemic was coinciding with George Floyd for us. So, and then it got worse and worse and worse. Cause yeah, it just endless police killings happening in America, and we're just poor black queer kids in Florida literally trying to survive. So we were able to make like shifts within that and still try to figure out how do we like grow from this. We're babies at this point
Stay
too.
alive.
I was 24 when that happened. I'm 30 now. I was 24 when we went to the pandemic. So 2 years, 2 to almost 3 years was taken directly from my youth, and just us focusing on trying to survive. So, and we did our pivots like everyone else. We went into the Zoom parties. We had a very beautiful Zoom party. That was
How that
so
was that
much
shit?
fun. It was so much fun. Me and Tara were hosting, and then we had all of our friends. And then at that time, I was living with my best friends as well. So I felt very held in during the pandemic. I had just got a lawsuit like coined. So I was living my little life. I was stupid and didn't get unemployment though.
Oh, girl.
So I spent through my money, but it's okay. We had potlucks and we fed community, paid our rent, paid other people's rents. Like it really went to actually surviving, and then our crashing mental health. So it was a lot. It was so much trying to navigate our existential crisis, our midlife crisis, interpersonal drama. We're living, breathing each other as friends and collaborators and roommates. Like it was a very rough time, and we had none of the language, nor still no mentors around. And at that point, like I didn't get my mentor until maybe midway through pandemic. I was me and my friend Monica were working at the shower site in Overtown, providing access to houseless people. That was the only job we could get, and we had there was no income coming in, so which is crazy. So through that, like we spent a lot of time in Overtown, which is a historic black neighborhood, and I was able to get re-inspired again, and I'm constantly inspired by the history of Miami. And this is still us navigating what it is to live in Florida in a global pandemic, and the world is telling us that we're being careless and ignorant to procedures, but we don't. Our laws are telling us that we are able to go outside and that we have to work and pay bills. So it was just a really like difficult and confusing time to try to figure out, and they threw that all on a generation of young people, which also was still a blessing in itself, because I feel like in that time period we were able to really like take over the streets. We really were. It felt really cool for a point to be in Miami during the pandemic, and yeah, kind of like I said, like we were running the streets, we were throwing raves regardless of what they were saying. They told us not to congregate. We threw some of the biggest protests during that time, and I'm watching my friends organize these protests for our lives. And I have friends running for their lives for just speaking up to truth on what's going on in Venezuela. And like, we could make movies off of that time period, but it was definitely a I don't know, a pressure cooker
It
of
felt like that.
masturation.
I felt like that in New York as well.
I can only, child.
Yeah.
I saw, yeah, we
I
were,
mean, we had crazy numbers.
y'all had
1,000 people dying a day.
crazy.
All the all the clubs shut down. Babe, where are we going? It's Giving Park.
And then all these queer and trans people, and then to
Had
deal with
to
the
leave.
shame,
Yep.
they had to leave. People had to deal with the shame of, like, people don't have communities and homes, babe. That's why the queers exist. We are that for each other. Like, we're housing people that don't have homes. We are giving aid to people who don't have aid. These people are immigrants too. These people are femmes too. And also, where the fuck are they going to work? These people are sex workers. Like, if people, like, it was such a conflicting time, like, being a queer person during that, because like, we had no structural foundation to support ourselves. And thankfully, we had art and opportunities. We made comic books during that.
You learned how to DJ.
I learned how to DJ
Don't forget
during
that
that.
part.
I learned how to DJ during that. I got into a relationship during that. So like I said, it was like a huge pressure cooker of masturbation happening all at once. And yeah, I'm gonna forever be processing that.
I think we all are. I mean, I don't feel we're really out of the pandemic.
It's the silent killer,
Yeah. I think we're all still processing what happened.
because we were just let back into the world.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, go back to work.
yeah,
Recess is done.
capitalism has to keep going.
Right, so
Y'all
keep
better
going.
Get to your
Let's
conveyor
push you
belt.
harder.
So yeah, in whatever, like we are finding ways to still thrive and build community. And although there is challenges, I think we did a really good damn job, like, with the best what we knew how to navigate and to still carry on with this baby that we just created with Masisi
I mean, I think you did phenomenal. Boiler room.
during the
Age.
pandemic.
That was
That was during the pandemic. Like 10, 15 people caught COVID. Everyone's
I'm dead.
That was during the pandemic. And my brother passed the very next morning.
Oh my God.
The very next morning.
Right, you told me.
And that was like, at that point, like, the collective disbanded. We were not with each other. Planned and did all of that with just two people on terms of like a logistical level. And then, of course, Wansi being Wansi.
Here he is.
Also being here, the silent angel of Masisi. And yeah, like, I think you did, because remember we were shooting the it made no
Rough.
sense.
That was the OG COVID. I caught the
Yeah.
original one too. That shit took me out.
She was not
I
playing.
got Omarion. too.
Orion.
Delta. Whatever one you
Literally,
want.
Not the Delta variants.
Oh, that was a terrible one.
There's so much. Like, we're learning all this language too. I'm learning about boundaries, Delta variants. It was too much.
Not Delta Omarion.
Black history every day. Like, it was so much. Palestine, Venezuela,
Like, bitch,
all
what's
of this all
next?
at the same time. So again, a
Wow.
pressure cooker of masturbation. So
And now we're here.
now we're here. We live to tell the tale and have war stories.
Like, I mean, we birthed
Yeah.
Masisi Radio.
We birthed Masisi Radio. We birthed Masisi HBO Max. We birthed Masisi Boiler Room. We birthed the first Masisi. We birthed
What is
Y2
she?
Kiki. Like, there's been so many.
What is she gonna come pregnant with in the next 5 years? Or is she not having
Hopefully.
babies anymore?
I think she probably won't have any babies, like, to be honest.
Are you gonna take the kids around the world?
I want the kids to go around the world. Like, for me, like, those are the babies. Like, touring Masisi, doing Masisis in every island in the Caribbean. Like, that is a goal. Like, to take it, like, there. So, yeah, like I
To
want
take it to Haiti.
exactly. It's a travel agency. Like, yeah. Still, Miami. Yeah. We're leaning in. But yeah, it's a queer.
Uh,
Because also that's like on. I feel like it's one of my purposes too. Like I really want to be invested in, even if it starts with my own friends and family. But like we need to see alternatives outside of the states, and people will do it for a party. People will do it for a great experience and a safe one. And yeah, I think so many queer, especially queer black people across the diaspora need to meet each other. So we have a lot to learn. So yeah, I want to be in that tradition of internationalists and really connecting, yeah, the diaspora. I'm just gonna try to do it through the party.
on that, I see you and many other people see you as a community leader.
Hate that.
Really?
Because I literally am sometimes a horrible person.
Well, you're doing great, baby. Fake it till you make it, because we all. I'll,
Right, right.
a lot of people look up to you, Akaya.
And I appreciate that, but also like, no, look up to your mother. Like, look up to those people. I like,
Be who
I like.
you
I'm
are
sorry, right?
for you.
I'm just like, yo, like sometimes I'm a whore. Sometimes
Why can't you be a whore and a leader?
well, it depends on what kind of leader you want. Like I believed in the slut walk. Like I was here for that.
But on a serious note, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know. You're a dreamer.
Yeah.
Like, what's your? I don't know. What's your vision?
So much. Like I'm constantly.
Because I know you're doing Dream Defender work
Yeah,
too. So
yeah,
let the
so-
people know.
Yeah, so you know, we be involved.
the streets.
We be in the streets, in these organizing streets, and yeah, for me, it's just like I don't like I said, I've been learning about all of these different revolutionaries and within culture and politics, and it's always been the same common thread. Like I don't want my humanity being stripped of me just because you see me in a light that you cannot see yourself in. If anything, I'm a mirror. Let me be a mirror for you. I don't want to be your leader. I want to be a mirror for you because I'm not doing shit that you can't do. I don't have I'm a black bitch. I don't have room to not be a participant in my life because if I don't, nobody is going to do that work for me. Nobody's ever going to be thinking about what Akaya and people that look like Akaya and that move through the world like Akaya need to have in order to feel safe and to give what we all enjoy. Because people enjoy what Akaya gives up. But that comes at that's sacred. That has to be that. And so for me, like that's my only contention with the word community leader. Because I feel
know
like
how you
people
feel
take
about
that
it.
away.
Yeah. And also, it's just like that prop of a pedestal, and then you feel like
I'll fuck your man, babe. Like, please. That is the truth. Like, I'm sorry.
the girls have ethics.
Yo, like, I'm sorry. Like, I do not. I'm a faggot first and leader after.
I love you. I love you. I love you also because then it's like, yeah, what the fuck? Can't we be human?
Yo, like, bitch, I
Can
just
I
turned
fuck up?
30. Girl, let's not. Like, I'm trying to pay rent just like you, girl. Like, please.
The girls want to have someone to look up to. That's it.
And
That's
I feel
That's that celebrity sort of that.
Parasocial.
Yeah.
But it's just like, bitch, I'm a realized bitch. Like, no, like, I'm sorry. The difference between the celebrities that you know online, they won't hit you. Like, no, like, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the
I'm
truth.
dead. The difference is they won't hit you. I will.
I will, like, because to me, that is part of, like, if we're trying to build community, then we need to know that we can be touched. And then and I'm probably putting my foot in my mouth. Ho, if you want to fight, let's do it. but in reality, though, like, I want to feel like I'm in a community. And what we were talking about earlier about
Honesty.
intimately, like I'm going through real ass shit in real life, not on what you are consuming via the product of me. I'm a human being. So like if you are not here for the all the versions of me that are not pleasant, then we are not in community. We have a transactional relationship where I'm your entertainment. I'm your entertainment. We're
It's
not.
like an imagery thing that they see through social media, which is so inherently dangerous.
Yo, like I'm sorry, like we've if you are looking at the legacy that all these revolutionaries have left behind, you cannot follow in their footsteps. You should just only be empowered that they were confident enough to make a difference. Malcolm X don't want you to be him. Martin Luther King didn't want you to be him. Marsha P, I'm sure as hell did not want you hoes to still be sex workers. Like her, she like that was a hard life that she died from. So no, like don't follow in our footsteps. You have to be better than us. So for me, it's like let it needs to be a death to the celebrity, death to the standship. Like no, like we are working laterally. Like don't see me as your leader, see me as your collaborator.
I feel like that's how we build community. Right?
Collaborate, yo, bitch, because you need to have some level of responsibility. It can't be you're making me leader because you don't want the responsibility. And that I think that's where people run away from. It's the responsibility of having to the people you say you are providing a service for, to your employees, to your collaborators. Like there's a level of just like, oh, I just want to be a passive consumer. No, babe, like we need you to participate and step up in a different kind of way because culture cannot be built off of passiveness.
So, pew, 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 pew. That's a train.
The
The trade. So, I know you feel in a way where it's like, I don't feel like, well, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you feel like you need to shape shift
I do feel
in, like, okay, question,
Yes.
You're at a club that is
places,
places. I'm not going to name any clubs specifically.
places, because
you
it's
know-
all the clubs.
Yeah, I'm saying
It's institutions.
you're in a space that is maybe not inherently for you.
Yes.
Are you shape shifting? Because
I think in a way, I think we all find ways to be the most digestible versions of ourselves. I think respect is in a lot of ways that like I'm not gonna show up the way I show up with you at your mama's house. No, I'm an onion. So I think it's cool to be able to. I don't see shape shifting as a level of you are silencing versions of yourself. It's reading the fucking room. So I think I'm good at reading rooms.
hello,
Libra.
hello.
I think I'm really good at reading the room and appealing to what are my strengths within that room.
I feel like that makes sense, and I don't think of that as shape shifting. It's being adaptable.
Like, babe, this is survival.
Like, hello, like
This
you're
is
not gonna
survival.
talk-
Like, you need to be adaptable, babe.
And I feel that's, the girls think that DJing is all in the ikke, but it's really not.
No,
It's really all about relationships.
it is
And
literally
your ability to make those relationships because nepotism is real. Like I feel that, Miami does a really good job of propping up people, but that's because you have those relationships.
Yeah.
Not always the highest technical girlies get there.
And also, that's in every sector.
Yeah.
That's in everything. Like in school, like just because you may not have been the smartest person, but your family built the library. Like,
Of course you're gonna have a job.
and I don't think that's an issue. Like truly, because for me, it's like, yo, you need to be able to look at the deck of cards that you were dealt and play the best fucking game. Because what I got that is a privilege for me may be a detriment if it was in your life. So it's like, okay, like but you can compare. I think that's where the issue really comes in the scene, in the competitiveness that we were talking about too. Just
Yeah,
like,
do you think we should be uplifting each other or healthy competition, girl?
I think a little bit of both because one, we do live in a capitalist society. So part of that is getting the best product. And I like to surround myself with people that I think is the best version of themselves. And they don't have to always show up as the best version of themselves. But I'm not in a place where I can have liabilities liabilities around me. I give a fuck about what future I'm trying to create, and that also shows up in there. So I'm in the relationships that I have in my life. So yeah, I think even in relationships, there's a level of like healthy competitiveness because there are vultures around too. So you're competing to be
Miami
the
definitely has a
realest
lot of
bitch in the
those.
room. You want to you're and outside of the capitalistic sense of competitiveness, but like showing eagerness and like vigor is nice. Is nice for the environment. I feel like it produces a level of just I want the best fucking product. Like you should be want everyone should always want to put their best foot forward. And if that comes with you finding someone like me and you, like I think we're not in competition, but we both are great at what we do. And it only makes us better. I want to if I'm gonna be to be with another bitch, I need them to be the best bitch to be. It's the best to best. Bitch. Like I'm sorry, like no,
Carried with
it's
that
the
one.
truth though.
It's true.
Back to back, best to best, like bitch to bitch.
No ugly
like,
girls at the table.
bottoms to bottoms.
No, I feel you. Like
Yo, like
I
let's
mean,
not.
okay,
Like please,
talking
keep it
about-
on the playground, girl.
talking about that, it makes me think about when you're going to hire people.
Like
Like
please
when,
stop.
like when you, I feel like you're always scouting in a
Yeah,
way.
in a way.
Yeah, like I have rules in my head about hiring people and like what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
I think for me, like, I just am trying to really sit with and believe that I'm not, and really know that I'm not the best at what I do. Like, there are better bitches in the world that can be more effective, that are more sharper. Or, like, this is literally, like, your wheelhouse. You find joy and alignment in this space. So why not, like, I don't need to do fucking everything. I don't want to be a machine. I would like to do the things that I'm great at, and like you do the things that you are great at, and we all fucking win.
Like when you're talking, like I'm talking about DJs. So like when you're listening to people,
Exactly.
What are you listening for?
Oh, when I'm listening for DJs, I'm listening for identity. Like I don't need you to sound like the next person because if that's the case, I'm gonna go to who I already believe, and we're naturally going to have our biases. I'm gonna go to who I think is the best person doing that sound. So for me, if it's originality and identity, skill set, you can always get better with that. Right. But you can't teach somebody like to have a voice. You either already have that, and I guess maybe you can train someone to like exercise and get stronger at using their voice. But I'm not gonna be the one to do that for you. I'm not on that train. You can get off at the stop where you're there, but that's what I'm looking for. Folks that I don't have to be leading, like people that can stand toe to toe with me.
I also feel like, as much as the girls don't want to think about this, like I need to kind of be sold on an imagery, too. Like,
we're Libras, though.
Yeah, I want to. I mean, of course, you have to be able to sound good, and what that means is clean transitions. Yes,
Yeah.
originality. That is so hard to find right now, which I want to talk to you about sonically where we're at. But yeah, it's just like, babe, like I need you to be in the gym.
Yeah.
I need to feel like confident.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believe that, I mean, this is something we don't really talk about, but you got to bring people out. That's a big part of it. It's like, yeah, it's mostly on me, but part of it I think has to do with like, can you bring people out? Are people going to engage with you? Do you look miserable while you're DJing? You know?
For me, not everybody needs to have DJing be like their the sun sign of their artistic practice. I would say it can
What do you
be
mean by that?
like it when people are first, like I'll go around, people already like kind of know me as a DJ, but I don't want that to be my sole identity. I think a lot of people are attached to the identity and the perks and the things that come with having the label of being a DJ, opposed to like embodying that in talent and skill set. Like I love photography. I don't need to be a photographer, babe. Like I like some stuff I'm doing just for a personal collection. If I'm good at it. But I don't want that to be the consumable thing
Are
about my personality.
are you saying that a lot of folks are getting into DJing because they love the celebrity identity of it, or like how it's like this, like it's easy accessible, but
Yes.
also just like the fame of it?
Yes, I think people are always trying to use art as a form of validation. A form of validation, opposed to like artists are trying to get to the root of where's that validation coming from? Why, like really excavating the why of their life. So I think there's like in at the DJing, still like I talk about all the time, we're kind of like clowns. Goodness sake.
We are though.
We're
like,
entertainment. We're entertainment.
if
so
there's not been a time more than now that DJing for me is a performance piece.
yes, it's a perform, or it could be miming.
The girls that are famous in DJing, there's some sort of a mask on, performance piece. They're dancing. It's no longer about scratching, technical ability, song selection.
It's selling them drinks.
Some of
It's
them-
selling drinks.
It's selling
It's
drinks.
about selling drinks. Can you bring in people that
about
can
money.
consume? Even then, like we gotta be real. Our shits will be doing quote unquote capitalistically well because our people don't want to get fucked up. They want to fucking dance.
They want to dance. They want to smoke weed.
They smoke weed. They chill. These girls are like trying to survive life. The club is too
The
expensive.
club is too expensive. They already paid the door fee, and they want to just chill and have fun.
We're in the most silent of recessions, and yeah, we're acting like that's not. These aren't variables, and also people don't feel comfortable. Like the girls are tired and bored of the same format. DJ, 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 DJ. Okay, like what is special? When there's like nightlife used to be a special event all the time to go out to. Like it was something that was more than just sonically captivating. There was a look, there was a feel, a smell to it. Like there's no story.
People didn't face the DJ. I think inherently the internet is a big play in this.
Because people are trying to seek validation from the internet and get money from the internet. Like it is a source. It's giving. Have you ever seen Holy Mountain? Alejandro Jodorowsky. He's a Chilean filmmaker. From the late 60s, I want to say like this film, Holy Mountain, was like produced by John Lennon, or at least like some money within the Beatles went there. But yeah, in general, it's like this, like people are looking for the golden nuggets. They're like reaching for golden nuggets from this ethereal space, or this like makeshift like white savior, which is now once was the government and now becoming the internet. And we're doing things to validate that, opposed to like, how are you making people feel IRL?
it makes me feel that, and we kind of talk about this before, is sonically how capitalism kind of has a chokehold on us. I think everybody sounds the same.
Even because think about it, there's certain sounds of music that do well and perform better. That's why the girls keep playing 2000s hip hop and R&B and reggaeton. Those
And techno.
genres literally promote drinking. It's in the music.
I think also techno has a global,
Techno now too, but
but like
drugs.
let's techno to house.
Yeah, and there's no shade in that because
Yeah.
we participate in all
Yeah.
all of it. I love
Yeah.
all of it, but we want a culturally diverse environment, and we have to be cognizant that there's more identities in the room. Like not everybody. There are people who are addicts that
Not
cannot
everyone
be
should
in
be
those
a
environments.
DJ, babe.
Not everybody should DJ. There should be managers. There should be MCs. Like,
There's so many other like.
but the girls don't
participating
know ceremony, and that is where it is. And I think because people forget that DJing at the end of the day does come from black communities. That is a art from
Hip
Jamaica,
hop.
specifically Jamaicans that migrated to New York. So these people are also heavily religious. So they're only reproducing what came from the church. And those elements are not there because those people that are currently currently in the scene, I don't think they come from those traditions where they've seen how people participated. Like people became better singers, and why you can tell who got their chops through church, they had to sing in front of people every week. And black people are brutally honest. Like they're gonna not clap. They're gonna tell you, sweetie, get off the stage.
I wish they would do that. More
Tomatoes, like no what? Watch Apollo, girl. Like
often. I can't.
they're brutal.
We're pretty much out of time. I have one question for you.
What's that?
It's a little more personal,
Come
but
on.
you know, the girls want to know if they want to take
Yeah.
you on a date. Like,
Yeah.
who is this person? What does Mr. Dorsonville need? How do I get a date with Akaya?
Honestly, like confidence. Confidence would be a
She's
nice
single. She's single, so getting them DMs, take notes.
one. So confidence would be a really like big one. Like I don't need to hear that you were intimidated by me. Like, girl, like you sound crazy. You sound. I know.
So intimidating.
And like, yo, like you're intimidated by me being productive. Like, girl, like that's crazy. That shouldn't be intimidating. You should be wanting to share what you're doing. But confidence, I think, I'm attracted to all artists. I think I would
Yeah.
probably be with some type of artist or
Creative,
intellectual,
yeah.
like someone that's like either I need both, but visual and mentally stimulating, and someone that knows God too. Like I wanna be with someone that I can like be in depth with, spiritually with, and like feel safe with, or funny. Someone that's
Make me
actually
laugh.
funny, like silly. Like I want silliness, and yeah, someone with great taste that has a taste that they've been refining as well. That can like show me some dope shit, not some
Can cook for you. Like do
skillful,
something.
skillful.
Like take me out to dinner. That would be nice. Get me a massage.
Give me a massage. Oh, a lover for real, like
Yeah,
beyond
romantic.
Yeah, romance would be nice.
Yeah.
But for me, because I'm romantic, so I think like I can fill that cup up. But for me, it's like being a active lover would be nice, because a lot of people are lazy with like giving and receiving love. So like you can learn romance, you can learn how to make me feel special, but being present is another thing.
So the girls know. So they know where to find you.
You know, and by the girls, we're talking about men.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
no.
She's looking for a man.
I am looking for a man, not a little boy, not a little
Yeah,
girl.
a man, a he, him.
I don't want a boyfriend. We can just fuck and just like be friends, but
You
yeah.
heard it. You heard it. This was lovely.
This was lovely.
No, I had such a good time. I
Yeah,
love you.
I love you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Masisi Radio. We had a pleasure. If you have any other questions, you know where to find us.
Exactly. And yo, just want to congrats to Mr. Bitch on. Yeah, I know that this is
love you.
not easy at all to be vulnerable and to talk on camera, record it. Like, it's a beautiful thing. And I think in general, like the purpose of Masisi also is to document our growth in blossoming. So yeah, thank you.
Love you, Bessie.
Peace out.
That was so much fun. Get more of these. Like, we did, yeah.
Somebody said, this is a whole motherfucking TED Talk. I'm taking notes.
See? The girls.
It was a TED Talk. It was really, really good. We spanned like everything.
We went everywhere.
We went everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, how'd you feel?
I feel good.
That was great.
Yeah, I told you I'm high, but I'm professional.
I know. You're professional now.